Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noel and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have an limited edition authentic books box to share with you. This was not sent to me for a review. This was in addition to the monthly boxes that they send out. They do send those monthly boxes to me for review, but I have been a longtime supporter of Authentic Books and Natisha, and I was just kind of excited to celebrate with them. So when it became available for pre-order for their 3rd anniversary box, I went ahead and ordered it. I did get a little discount, but it was still $80 plus $9.99 in shipping as the base rate. Now that pre-order email came out in August on the 22nd, and I did not get this box until just a couple of weeks ago. They are backed up across the board, so much so that the October box selection that we picked for our Book Nook, which is our quarterly book club that we run over in the NoBot Nook, we have had to push the reading of that book all the way into January because many of us still do not have the box in hand, which is disappointing, but hopefully all of the upgrades that they've been making over at Authentic Books in terms of moving and having a brick and mortar shop, hopefully all of that gets a little more settled and they get caught up. We're going to have a lot of book boxes to look at because they're going to hopefully get caught up, and then hopefully we'll also get our book club back on track in terms of our schedule. That said, if you haven't already joined us over there in the NoBot Nook and you would like to try our book club, this is an opportunity to get in on a reading that we'll be doing not until January. You wouldn't be able to get the October box, obviously, but you could definitely pick up a copy of the book or an audio version and join us for that discussion over there. That would be fun to have you there. We've got a good little group of folks over there. But I did print out the email that I got from them just because there were some discrepancies between what I actually wound up receiving for this book box and what was promised. For one, they did say that these limited edition boxes or special edition boxes include larger items that you typically will not find in our monthly boxes. Now, I will not say that that is true. That was not my experience with this box. I did not see anything in here that was necessarily a higher value or larger in quantity that I wouldn't expect to get in the monthly book boxes. So that was a little disappointing. But let me just give you the blurb that she had, the little teaser, and then I'll read the blurb for the book. The book was The Museum of Failures by Triti Umregar. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, but I'll do my best. It does have the nice Authentic Book seal on it. So the little teaser was surprising, devastating, and ultimately a story of redemption and healing still possible between a mother and son. The Museum of Failures is a tour de force from one of our most elegant storytellers about the mixed bag of love and regret. It is also, above all, a much-needed reminder that forgiveness comes from empathy for others. So I did think it was a beautiful story. I thought it was well written. It was all with a narrator, so there were sections, especially with the mother, where it was in first person, and so you're really in her mind, especially when she was recollecting and thinking about the past. So a little bit of that was sometimes confusing to me, but and in terms of the characters, I did think that sometimes Remy was making decisions for him and his wife back home in the States that I would not be comfortable making on my own for my spouse and myself, in terms of bringing other people into our home, or children, or parents. Or sometimes I was like, you are definitely bringing some of your Western sensibilities with you to India, and then you are definitely bringing some of your senses of Indian responsibilities with you back to America. So it was interesting, but it was a very specific story because it was a Parsi family, so you learned a little bit more about those traditions. But let me go ahead and read the blurb to you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what I actually received in the box versus what was promised. They did promise for, again, all of these boxes, even the limited editions, are kind of curated around the 5 senses. So for the sense of sight, obviously, you're going to get the book. In this case, it did promise a signed book plate. We did get the signed book plate. Looks like it's from the publisher, essentially. And an author's note. And usually the author's note comes on a separate card, and I did not find that. So, and I don't think that it's in the booklet that came with. Yeah, so this is where you see all of the products, of course, and then this is where you get the booked cocktail and the drink recipe. So that was in there. And then a little feature of one of the makers, a little note from Natisha, and then of course talking about the give back element of this box. But yeah, I didn't get the author's note. So that was a little bit of a bummer, something that I was kind of expecting, especially with a limited edition box. We did get our little bookmark, and you guys know I always love how the bookmarks have a nice silky tassel and how they are always matching in color to the book cover, but this one had a kind of a darker quote, even though this was really a tale of redemption and hope. It said, "Don't look back, because the only way to destroy the Museum of Failures is to burn every shameful secret that it has ever held." Right? That's a little dark. But let me go ahead and read the blurb to you on the inside cover. So it says, "When Remy Wadia left India for the United States, he carried his resentment of his cold and inscrutable mother with him, and has kept his distance from her. Years later, he returns to Bombay, planning to adopt a baby from a young pregnant girl and to see his elderly mother again before it is too late. She is in the hospital, has stopped talking, and seems to have given up on life. Struck with guilt for not realizing just how ill she had become, Remy devotes himself to helping her recover and return home. But one day in her apartment, he comes upon an old photograph that demands explanation. As shocking family secrets surface, Remy finds himself reevaluating his entire childhood and his relationship to his parents, just as he is on the cusp of becoming a parent himself. Can Remy learn to forgive others for their human frailties, or is he too wedded to his sorrow and anger over his parents' long ago decisions?" So I did think some of the twists, I guess, some of the family secrets that you don't know about at first, I did think that some of them were a little surprising. I wasn't totally it didn't totally go the way I thought it would. It was kind of I will say I felt like the ending was a little bit too neat. I almost wanted, even though I didn't want the book to be much longer, I wanted there to be a little more open-ended, but it was still a lovely book. And again, I did like the writing, and I thought they did a good job of not making there be too many characters, because that can happen sometimes, especially when it's sort of a cultural immersion book, when there's too many characters and names that to keep track of, and it wasn't too bad in that way. So, but let's go ahead and talk about what else we got. So Sense of Sight, we did get our hardcover copy, we got our signed book plate, we got our bookmark. We did not get the note. For Sense of Smell, and this is something that comes in all Authentic Books boxes, is a candle that they have made. So my candle came really in not the greatest of condition. Actually, there were 2 damaged products in my box, and I did send them pictures of both. I did, with the caveat, say, hey, I don't really need replacements. I just want you to know that this is how things showed up, because I kind of get the sense, just because this has never happened before, that maybe these candles were ready to ship a long time ago and they were waiting on some other things, or just the opportunity to get everything packed up, because I have never gotten a candle box from Authentic Books that has this much damage and leakage. Now, I know candles sometimes sweat, especially when they get a little bit too hot in shipping, but even in the summer months, and this coming from Florida all the way to me here in California, I've never had this happen. So it was a little bit surprising to me. So I did open it up because I wanted to make sure that the candle was okay. I have kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but obviously there was going to be some disruption there. So you can see a couple of the stones, but yeah, it did melt over to the one side. It's kind of grainy. It kind of separated a little bit, I feel like the wax did. I'm sure it'll be fine once I light it and it melts down a little bit. Hopefully the wick doesn't drown too much, but the scent is really nice. It honestly smells a little bit more like gingerbread than what they have cited as the scent. So it says, now on the email, it said it was going to be an author collaborated candle scent. And they have done that for regular monthly boxes. But I will say that in here, it says, Bombay Sky was inspired by the scents of sweet sandalwood and earthy tonka. I still think it smells like gingerbread. But they do have a picture of the author, and it does have a little exclusive banner, but it says exclusive author collaborated box. It does not say author collaborated candle. So I'm wondering if it's a little bit of a lighter touch than we're used to, where maybe she sent the author a list of the items that was going in the box and she just sort of signed off on it. But it is curious to me that it says author collaborated box versus author collaborated candle. That's all right, but it's a bummer that my candle came a little destroyed. Now for taste number 1. And there were 2 tastes in this one, and that's the case with regular premium boxes as well. You could have gotten the cocktail mix. I did get the cocktail mix from Nope Beverages. Honestly, I feel like so I always get the cocktail mix in the monthly boxes, but because I selected this box and ordered it myself, I really think I went with the chai box concentrate that was promised, because I love that stuff. So I'm surprised that I would have gone with the mango margarita with jalapeno. So she's been doing this lately instead of the nice syrups that we used to get. We get these pre-made non-alcoholic cocktail mixes. So I think I might shift, honestly, over to coffee or tea because I haven't been finding, like, some of them are great. They're great mixers. I just add a little booze to them and they're a nice little cocktail. But I kind of was liking the fancy syrups a little bit more. So it could just be the boxes that I've been choosing. So again, mango margarita with jalapeno sounds great, and of course there's lots of mango in this book, so lots of like kind of Indian flavors and smells and everything, which is to be expected. But in the pre-order email, it had like this whole sort of feature about the chai box and the maker, and it showed the concentrate, but then it was, supposedly we wound up with the loose leaf tea. I will say it's kind of interesting though, because even in here, it shows the loose leaf tea that I know people who selected tea received, but it still says in the text, it still says chai concentrate, which is the one that comes in the bottle, which I've gotten in subscription boxes before. So I'm not sure what happened with that swap, that switch, but I feel like it's something that we should have been told about. And again, I'm almost positive, you guys, that I chose the chai. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I chose the cocktail, but still, if I had chosen the chai, I would have been really bummed that I got the loose leaf chai instead of the chai concentrate, which is delicious. All right, taste number 2. So here's the other swap that I was really bummed about. Like, things missing like the Spotify playlist, which I couldn't find in this box. They might just have not put the little card in, or the author's note, not that big of a deal. Taste number 2, instead of being chocolate, which is what it usually is in the premium boxes, it said a baking mix from a small bakery. And I love getting baking mixes this time of year. I just think it makes it really easy. I love kind of baking and having something to share with people. We got chocolate. So again, between the chai concentrate for the loose leaf tea and the baking mix from a small bakery to a chocolate, that was a little bit of a bummer. Normally wouldn't be a bummer, but apparently my box went through some high heat at some point, because this is, and I love this brand too, Moonstruck from Portland, Oregon. It's a milk chocolate, orange, pistachio, and rose. Not a huge fan of rose on anything, but I can kind of get how it had some of those flavors of India. But look how, like, when I received this, you guys, it was like, it was a puddle. I had to put it in the refrigerator so that it would be a little bit more firm. But I think the chocolate inside is probably going to be fine, but it's almost like it like got untempered. So it might be a little bit crystallized when I finally open it up. I honestly don't even know if I'm going to open it up, just because it looks so funky. So it says, blending delicate rose petals with sweet dried orange and crunchy pistachios, this milk chocolate element bar is a delight for all the senses. I really wish we got the baking mix, or just been like, if they just said it in the email about the delays and let us know, then maybe I would have understood the delays more because they couldn't have gotten their hands on the other items, or I just would have been more prepared for not getting what I was expecting. All right. Now, I will say, for the sense of touch, it said that we were going to get 4 full-sized boutique items. So sometimes those are like Bath and Body products, sometimes they're more lifestyle products, but usually even in the premium boxes, we only get 3. So that was like an extra one. I was like, all right. And again, it did say larger items you typically will not find in our monthly boxes. All 4 touch items to me were items that we would find in typical monthly boxes. So the first one was, actually, this was kind of a goofy one. Like, so it came in a little baggie, a little Authentic Books baggie. It's from Chica Lucate. It says, our energizing, okay, so they mix this up. So it's the George Burns failure quote magnet. The quote says, I'd rather be a failure at something I love than a success at something I hate. All right, well, that's true, and I guess it ties into the title of the Museum of Failures, but really that's just Remy's whole idea about India being this place where things don't go well and things are always more difficult, and it's not so much about him trying to be a success and failing. So I don't know, like, to me this didn't really fit. It's just like a silly little like touristy magnet. I don't know. And then they didn't even put necessarily the right text in there. It still talks about an energizing caffeine sheet mask underneath. So you think that they maybe would have like proofread the booklet a little bit more, especially since we got this box. It was supposed to ship at the end of September. We got it at the end of November, so that's a full 2 months later than expected. All right, moving on to touch number 2. Again, something that is absolutely what we would expect. So I will say that magnet is not something I would expect in a regular monthly box because it's such a small item. I wouldn't consider that I mean, I guess it's full size, but I wouldn't consider a boutique item. Coconut face mask. So when they did have 3 different sizes for authentic books, and now there's really just 2, often a sheet mask was touch number 1, the one that came in all the boxes, because it was like kind of the lowest value, easiest one to put in there. So again, this is absolutely something that I would expect to see as one of the touch items in an authentic books box. So it says it's from Pineapple Beauty, infused with coconut and collagen, easy and effective skin brightening and radiance treatment that helps provide softness and hydration. I'm not trying to be super negative, you guys. I'm just saying it's not what I expected from this box. But while we're at it, let's have a secret password. It's going to be coconut. So when you come across a secret password in one of my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form linked for you in the description box below. Please don't put the secret password into the comments. You do have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address, and you do have to be subscribed to my channel. It doesn't have to be publicly. I can confirm with you via email. About 5 days into the following month, actually more like 6 days, I'll use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive a mystery box as a way of saying thank you for watching my videos in their entirety. Each of the passwords counts as 1 entry. You can't enter any password more than once. It'll just be a duplicate and I'll erase it. And again, it is not affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I open here on the channel. It is just my way of saying thank you so much. The secret password for today is coconut, because we like coconuts. All right, let's see. For touch number 3. So these last 2 touch items are a little bit nicer, but they're still items I would expect to see in a regular authentic book box. This is from a company called Sonmer. So it's from Sonmer Shop USA. It's just a nice cloth bag, little tote bag. It says this bag is printed using the artisanal block print technique from India. It is a 100% organic cotton bag. I will say I did go into some really nice cotton shops where I got all kinds of products when I was in India. Wow, it was a long time ago now, but it was about this time of year, honestly. I got all kinds of headbands, I got like shoe bags, I got a lot of things, and they were very much like this with these fun woodblock prints, and then it's this kind of thinner cotton. This is a cute little tote bag. I mean, I need another tote bag like I need a hole in the head. It does have a little bit of a gusset along the sides, but just a center seam along the bottom, but it would hold a good amount of like books if you were going to the library or the bookshop. So I did think this was cute. I like that one, so that's cute. And then for touch number 4, and this was the company that was sort of highlighted, this is from Paper High, Fair Trade Handmade Gifts. So I was kind of expecting something, you know, from India. So it says stunning handmade decorative bird wall hanging with individual birds, each with a small bell, separated with small colorful beads. You've probably seen these before. Oh goodness, it's quite the knot here, and you can tell that I have not pre-opened this. Oh dear. Oh goodness, this is going to be tricky. I don't want to have to cut this, but you know, I'll do what I have to do. It says, let's see, these bird hangings make a lovely alternative gift, something you certainly wouldn't find on the high street. I don't know what the high street is. Okay, so it's got these nice like poles, but man, they have really, really tied it in a knot. So I'll keep working on this and see if I can turn to the page that tells us a little bit more about the company. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in this though, you guys. It is so knotted. Wow, wow, wow. I think honestly, there's like a little bit of the wax from the candle box may have gotten on it, which is what's making it a little bit more sealed into place. And then they like had double knotted it. Ooh, this is tricky. All right, let's see what it says about the company. And I'll keep messing with it. So it says, we're Mark and Claire, the people behind Paper High, born out of our love of travel. So basically they're like a couple that does imports. Paper High began as a round-the-world trip, an unexpected change in destination, an extended stay in Kathmandu, and a chance meeting with a paper maker sowed the seed of an exciting business idea. After returning in 2002 with 2 boxes of beautifully handmade journals and photo albums, we set up our very first stall at Camden Market. Ah, that's why the reference to High Street. It says, our customers love the unique quality of our handmade books as much as we did, and our business has grown from there. Nearly 20 years, a few more stalls, festivals, and our own warehouse later, we're still selling our very first journals and a bit more. So they sell mostly paper products, but they do some imports inspired by their travels, and this is honestly quite lovely. It almost looks a little more like, I don't know, like Nepalese to me, but look, it's got the little bells. This is really cute. This would be a really cute, there's just the bell on the bottom. This would be a really cute gift topper, nice little wall hanging. This is more of like a boutique item. It does have, to me, a little bit of a higher value than like the sheet mask, for example. So in terms of this being like an extra gift, I think this was kind of made up for it between the tote bag and this. And then I'm just going to count the sheet mask and the magnet kind of as like one gift. So we still wound up with like a total of 3 in my mind. Like, not super fancy. But again, I was just a little disappointed that there were some swaps that were made that we weren't alerted to. You know, in the past when we've had limited edition boxes, there's been like sort of a hero item, like a beautiful pendant or something like that, or something personalized. And I think they were just trying to get these boxes out the door at this point and not putting too much into the fact that they had to make some swaps. But hopefully, like I said, we still believe in authentic books here. We're still excited to read our books along with them for 2024. And I hope they get caught up as soon as possible so that we can get caught up too. Let me know if you got this box or if you're still waiting on it or if you're waiting on anything else from Authentic Books in the comments below. And I'll see you soon in my next unboxing.